Hello everybody and a very warm welcome along to Sportsbet TV. Paul Alster here with you once again, looking forward to a weekend of some really good racing across Britain and Ireland. We have three selections for you, two of them on Saturday and one of them on Sunday. Very quickly before I get to those, let me just go back to the selection we had for you during the week, which was on Thursday at Leopardstown. Now that was Etnea, trained by Dermot Weld. The mount of Asheen Orr. She'd had just the one run and won her maiden in really good style. She was stepped up in class, and pretty much I knew straight away that things were not going to work out, because no sooner had they come out of the stalls than within half a furlong she got involved in quite a barging match with the big colt of Jim Bolgers, who had been fifth both in the Irish 2000 Guineas and Derby, and she came off second best. That really lit her up, and she got quite stressed, I think, by that, when galloping through, pulled her way through to chase the leader, and she just expended too much energy and got hampered again later. She wouldn't have won. As soon as that incident happened early, her race was as good as over. She is certainly better than that, and we'll hope for better from her next time. As for the other selection for Friday, well, unfortunately, Search for a Song in the Group 3, the Iris and Ledger trial, was a non-runner. Indeed, both of Dermot Weld's runners, intended runners, were absentee, so we didn't even get a run there. But we'll be looking out for Search for a Song, who may well have other targets in the very near future. We'll move on to this weekend though, and we start with Saturday the 15th of August, where there's some good racing, the length and breadth of Britain and Ireland. There are two selections. The first of them is at Newmarket over at HQ, where they're still racing on the July course. And the 240 race is an interesting 7 furlong handicap. Now there's a horse in this trained by Richard Hughes, who of course used to be one of the most outstanding jockeys of his generation. He's doing well though as a trainer, and he teams up here with Shane Kelly in the 240 at Newmarket on Saturday with a horse called Carabana, who's very progressive, on a hat-trick this one after winning at Newbury over the 7 furlongs, and then after a rise in the weights won again over course and distance last time. Now I sat down just earlier on this morning and I watched that race here at Newmarket last time, and I really did like the way Carabana quickened. It put the race to bed very, very quickly, and okay, it's gone up £6, but I'll be surprised if she doesn't remain very competitive off that mark. So, having stayed on strongly, proven at the track, goes on the forecast good to firm ground, I think it's good value to beat the likely favourite, the Windsor winner, Broughton's Gold, who's trained by that very good and promising young trainer, Tom Clover. So for me, Carabana, who is about a 4-to-1 shot, and that's a general offer with most firms. So Carabana it is, Newmarket 240 on Saturday for Richard Hughes and Shane Kelly. Then just under an hour later, we crossed to Newbury in Berkshire, where there are 9 races. It's a really good card with the Geoffrey Freer Stakes amongst others. But one of the feature events there is the 335, and this is the Hungerford Stakes. It's a Group 2, and it's attracted good horses. It's over 7 furlongs, so you get some of those that are very smart at 6 furlongs. You get the specialist 7 furlong horses, and then you get those horses that have been running at a mile, maybe not quite getting home and dropping back. So it's a real race that brings them all together. Now those of you that follow us regularly will probably recall that Royal Ascot, I tipped Dream of Dreams in the Diamond Jubilee Stakes when he was around a 10-to-1 shot, and he got beaten by a nose. Finished like a train there over the stiff 6 furlongs, and one more stride Sir Michael Stout's horse would have won. Well, he hasn't run since then. That, by the way, was his first run since being gelded. Sometimes horses do need a run after the gelding operation before they really feel 100% about themselves. And Michael Stout trains Dream of Dreams, as I mentioned, and Asheen Murphy, the champion jockey, is on board. Now that's a significant booking. Now the one thing about this horse is he's been plying his trade at the highest level over 6 furlongs, but it's worth noting he has won over 7 furlongs, and indeed he's been placed in group company in the past at this trip. And the way he came home there over the very stiff 6 at Ascot, only just failing another few strides he would have won, I believe 7 furlongs might prove to be his best trip from now on. Now there are plenty of dangers in the race. Threat, is indeed a threat. He's trained by Richard Hannon, and the French raider Namos, he's interesting. A horse that I think could run very well indeed, but Dream of Dreams I think is ready made for this event with Oisin Murphy, sure to give him a good ride. He's generally a 5-2 shot, and I think that's about the right price. So that's Dream of Dreams, Newbury, 3:35 on Saturday. On to Sunday, and on to one of my very favourite racecourses, Ripon. This is Ripon Racecourse, where I actually had a winner in my own colours way back in the 1980s. The Garden Racecourse is a terrific track in North Yorkshire, and it stages its traditional big meeting of the season with the Great St Wilfrid Handicap, 6 furlong handicap, a dash down the straight course. That is the feature event at 3:15. Now, most people that have not been to Ripon won't appreciate that although it's a dead straight 6 furlongs, it's really undulating. Horses can get unbalanced, and there are plenty of horses that just don't handle the track. Now, one that does handle the track is a horse called Brian the Snail. Not the best name, you'd have to admit, for a horse that is going to make his career as a sprinter. But Brian the Snail, surely named after that creature from the Magic Roundabout years ago, he's trained by Richard Fahey, who back in the days when this horse was winning actually rode a winner for me as an apprentice, believe it or not, Richard Fahey at Chester, and that's going back a long time. Now, Richard has become a great trainer, as we all know. Sends out regularly 100 winners a season, wins group races in Britain and all over the show. He's booked Megan Nichols, the daughter of champion jumps trainer Paul Nichols, to ride this. She's a terrific flat jockey, and she's claiming a very valuable £5. So I think Brian the Snail has a really good chance from a yard that has won this race twice in the last 7 years. Now, as a young horse, Brian the Snail looked very, very useful. He won his first 3. He's kind of lost his way in patches over the last 2 or 3 seasons, but this year he's come back and he's been in really good form since coming down the handicap. He won first time out after the Corona break. That was at Doncaster over 6 furlongs. Then he was 3rd here over the course and distance, and I'm sure he's going to run really well. He was 3rd in the Stewards Cup last time out, which was a terrific run, a really terrific run at 66-1. Now, he actually won his race on the near side, but the action was all over on the far side. Overall, he finished 3rd, and the great thing is he's only gone up a pound. So I think he's going to run a massive race at a track where he's done really well before. He's won at Newcastle this season. I think I said Doncaster, that was last term. It was Newcastle where he won first time out this season, and he's run well here a number of times, so he handles this undulating sprint track. I think he's going to go really well. Now, shop around in the betting markets for this one, because many firms will play 5. They may even pay out on 6 places. And I'm recommending Brian the Snail each way. He was around a 14-1 when I looked at the early pricing. That was with Bet365. That may be a little bit bigger on offer elsewhere, but 14-1 each way looks a rock solid price. So that's Sunday afternoon, 3:15, the Great St Wilfrid Handicap at Ripon, each way 14-1, Brian the Snail. So he's the 3rd and final selection for us over the weekend. Let's hope they all run well and we can manage to make a bob or 2 along the way. I'll be back with you with the midweek bulletin, but for now, from me, Paul Alster, here at Sportsbet TV, I wish you a great weekend and look forward to speaking to you next week. Bye bye for now.